Oh wait, Wolverine's not in this one. X-Men Dark Phoenix is the latest film in the X-Men franchise, which I really like. I have reviewed some of the other X-Men films on my channel before, and I had no interest in seeing this film at all. I did not care about this movie. I thought the trailers looked really bland. I was not excited for it. I didn't care. We've already seen this story done before in X-Men Days, in X-Men 3, The Last Stand, and even though that didn't do it too well, you know, it at least did it better than this. X-Men Dark Phoenix. This is probably the most disappointing film of the year. I wasn't even expecting this film to be good anyway, but for it to be this bad, I was appalled by this film. It was awful. Saying that, though, I do have some positives with the movie. Most of my positives come with some of the sequences, and most of those sequences are in the first and third act. The third act is very action-packed, there's a lot of action there, and there are a few moments of action that I was like, that's cool, I like that, I like that. Just a few little moments, and the first act is okay. It's a decent setup, and I was like, okay, this will be, you know, it'll be fine at best, you know, but mediocre at worst, you know. But then when it got into its second act, there was a moment, and I just lost complete interest in this movie. I did not care, and I predicted every single thing in the movie after that. My honestly only praise I can give with this film is a few moments. That's it. Now, I'm a huge fan of these characters. I love these characters. I love Professor X. I love Magneto. I love their performances, these characters. But actually, my biggest issue with this movie is that it plays it so safe and so bland. This isn't like bland, mediocre bland. This is painfully average. This is painfully cliche. Some of it comes into the script. I think it is the script. It feels awful. It feels like a first draft. It feels like they just wrote it, throw it out there, who cares? The same thing with the actors. It felt like no one in this movie cared. The performances, I think, are actually pretty bad in this movie, and I don't want to bash on them too much because, you know, they do their best at what they can do, but it honestly feels like they're not trying. It sometimes feels like, okay, let's get my paycheck and let's go. I don't care about this one. All the other ones are great, you know, but I don't care about this one. No one's going to remember this. It's fine. Let's just get it over with. And I actually thought James McAvoy and, like, Michael Fassbender, who are fantastic in their roles usually, were just so boring here because the script was awful. Some of the dialogue in this film, some of the lines are awful. And it's not these performances, it's not these actors, it's the script. The script was the real problem here, and because it was just so boring and bland. And the second act, my God, was bad. This movie, it wasn't like slow, boring. It wasn't like, oh, I need this to pick up, because it did go at a frequent pace. But it was just like, oh, I don't care. I can predict every single line these characters are about to say, because you could see it set up. You could predict everything that was going to happen, because it got to a point where everything happened how I expected it to happen, in the most blandest way it can. They couldn't have made this movie any blander than it was. It's like they played it so safe. And it's not that they just play it safe, it's that it was just so bland. It was like 1,000 other movies I've seen before, and with all the superhero movies we get today, seeing how amazing they can be, seeing how emotional and epic they can be, this is honestly a disgrace of an X-Men movie. Seeing how amazing they can be, this is an awful way to leave these characters. And actually the continuity in this one, yes, say what you want to about the continuity of the X-Men franchise, it's not great. Like, 2 of them are time travel movies and bugger up everything, but this honestly just doesn't fit within the franchise. This is supposed to be a prequel, yes? It doesn't work as a prequel to those movies. It doesn't work as a sequel to the movies before it. It doesn't work as a sequel to X-Men Apocalypse. It doesn't work to a prequel to the original X-Men films. It doesn't work in the slightest. It doesn't add anything to any of these movies. It shouldn't exist. It shouldn't have been made. We've seen this story before, just in a different way, and actually X-Men 3 does it way better. I don't even like X-Men 3, but it does it better than this piece of crap. I don't like it, and I hate bashing on movies, and there was a point in this movie where I was like, I don't want to watch anymore, that's it, like, this is too bland, I know exactly where it's going to go, I don't care. But the only reason I continued watching it, because it's an X-Men film, I love this franchise, and I want to see what they do, maybe it would improve, and there was a few action sequences towards the end. There was a sequence on this train with all the X-Men together battling, and that was quite fun. It was quite enjoyable. But there wasn't really anything of merit here. There wasn't really anything entertaining to see. There wasn't any moments of character throughout this entire film. It tries to put an emotional weight on something, and it just doesn't work, because I just didn't care. Because it was just so extremely bland. I know you're hearing the word bland a lot in this review, but it is the perfect word to describe this movie. Man, this film was so disappointing. Just forget it exists. Just ignore it. It's not very good. The direction is also really bland. It's just, there is no movement. There is no creativity in this movie. It just feels like a product to me. It doesn't feel like there's any creativity in this film. It doesn't feel like there's any addition to the franchise or the story or these characters. I honestly feel this movie is a complete and utter disgrace. It is a complete failure. And besides a few moments that I thought were okay, this is honestly the most disappointing film of the entire year. This is the worst X-Men film. This film just has nothing. Nothing. It is so weak. There was a few moments that I liked. Like, a few. Like, probably like 3 minutes worth of footage in the whole film that I thought were fine. The rest of it is just bleh. I'm gonna give X-Men Dark Phoenix a D+. And a 3 out of 10. Well, that's over. Guys, comment down below your opinions on X-Men Dark Phoenix if you did see it, and if you didn't, don't bother. Comment down below your opinions, of course, and of course, thank you for watching, and goodbye.